Today my audience is Victoria Blaine and Hazelyn Allen. The middle child. When people first hear this, the first thing that comes to their mind is independent, creative, and troublemakers. Middle children often get labeled and picked on for having middle child syndrome, but this is something that many kids deal with. Most often, your middle child struggles more than their other siblings due to lack of support and recognition from their parents. What is middle child syndrome? Well, a quote by clinical psychologist Amy Darmus, she states that middle child syndrome is a set of feelings and a relationship style that is common in middle children. What are the most common characteristics? The feeling of being overlooked, an independent streak, a sense of individualism, feeling the need to prove themselves. Most middle children try to prove that they are just as much as their other siblings. For example, as a middle child myself, I have worked my hardest on my grades in hopes of doing better than my sister. Also, another common characteristic is them trying their hardest not to be like the older siblings. When being compared to your other siblings most of your life, you try everything you can do to go down a unique and different path as them. Another common characteristic for middle child syndrome is having a strong relationship with friends. When being overlooked as a middle child, you tend to find stronger relationships outside of your family. Another quote by Amy Darmus explaining why this happens. Because it feels to them like their parents are closer to their oldest, who's often under the pressure to achieve, and the youngest, who needs more care than the others. The middle child often has their closest relationships outside of their home, with their friends. They get to be more than just someone's sibling. Another very common characteristic is extreme behavior. As myself, I had a friend come over, and I'm a middle child myself, and I suffer from middle child syndrome, and I snuck out. For me sneaking out and getting caught, my parents have now got these Ring doorbells that they're going to attach to the house very soon. And also, when you try to leave the house going out the front door, a loud noise goes off. This wakes up the dogs first and has them barking, and it makes that loud noise. So there's no way of getting out without anyone else. And these are common things that when a middle child acts out, such as sneaking out, their parents do stuff like this. So how can this affect you as an adult? Well, according to our everydayloss.com, negatively, this can show up in their relationships for them not feeling worthy of love or affection, or feeling like there's someone better for their significant other. This can also have them feeling invisible and not special. Positively, this can make them hard workers. Due to having to compete with their siblings as they are younger, they're trying their hardest to compete in the workplace to try to be the best. They're also very resourceful, and they are problem solvers. Due to having to solve many problems on their own, how do you prevent this from happening to your own child? Well, National Child Development Council says encouraging in what they excel in. For example, if they excel in one sport, encourage them in there, don't try to get them to do others. Listen and empathize with them, and don't compare them to their siblings. As a middle child myself, when me and my sister play the same sport, basketball, I get compared to what she does a lot by my parents and my coaches. Also, education-wise, when I get teachers that she's been through, I get compared by my parents on my grades in that class, and also by the teachers with expectations to meet up to her. And also, make sure to make them feel important. So as a middle child myself, I can relate to many of these feelings of wanting to be recognized and not compared to your other siblings. This is something that many children I know that are middle childs also deal with. This is something that many parents need to look into and try to prevent excluding their middle child. Doing this to your child can cause long-term effects that we have discussed today. This is why we need to spread an awareness. According to healthline.com in their article, Middle Child Syndrome, a study in 2003 showed that middle children, as they got older, seem to develop depression. So make sure that you check on your middle child and have an open relationship where they can discuss their feelings. This will help you prevent your child from having the syndrome.